What's going on, squad? We back with another video. This one is back to universal laws. So in this one, I want to talk about soul contracts. You can have a soul contract with somebody else, or you can have a soul contract with the most important soul contract that you have is with yourself. So you have to be careful with what you're saying. You got to mean what you say and say what you mean. So in other words, whenever you speak, words are spells. So that's why it's called spelling. So whatever you speak out of your mouth, whatever you say to yourself in your thoughts or externally, whatever you think about yourself is going to come to be. So anytime you say something to yourself or even to somebody else, you have to make sure that you try and stick to whatever you're saying. If it's a positive thing, if you're saying something negative, you need to switch that mindset, because you're only drawing more negativity back towards yourself when you think negatively about yourself or you speak negatively about yourself. But back to the soul contract thing. You can have a soul contract with somebody else. So let's say if you say something to somebody, as in like, I don't know, anything. Like if you make a pact with somebody, like say if you, one of your best friends or something like that, or your loved one or a relative or something like that, you tell them, I'm going to do this, this, and that, and you guys both agree to do something. If you break said contract, you're not only breaking the contract with them, you're breaking it with yourself, because you told yourself and them that that's what you were going to do and you were going to stick by that. And the moment you do that, you not only go against them, but you go against yourself. So that's why I'm saying, ultimately, the most important soul contract is the soul contract within yourself. Whatever you tell yourself you're going to do, you should stick to it. That's oftentimes why people will set goals, but then remain stagnant because they don't follow through with set goals. So like for me, I always bring it back to me. Take me for instance. When I was younger, I always said that I was going to have my own business, and I wanted to be a producer, and you know, I had a whole bunch of goals that I wanted to achieve in my life, and I actually wrote it down on a paper when I was younger, like in middle school or high school, this stuff that I wanted to do. And it was always lingering in the back of my mind. But in my younger years, I wasn't taking the steps to align with those goals or that purpose that I wanted. So my life was in array. It was in disarray. It was all over the place. But the moment that I actually started to take the steps to follow through with what I said I wanted to do was when my life started to change and turn around. So, you know, now I'm a business owner, and now I make music, I create music, and I do it for me. I'm not doing it it's not about the money. It's about fulfilling that soul contract with myself, because that was something I said that I wanted to do. So I do it, and whatever comes from it monetarily comes from it. But it's more, to me, it's more than that. I'm doing it because it's something that I said that I wanted to do and something that I love to do. So it feeds my soul. So back to the soul contract. So it's very important that when you say something, especially to yourself, you stick to it. Like, even to somebody else, even if you, to somebody, and when I'm saying that, I'm not saying like, if you say I'm gonna go to the gym and then something comes up and you can't go to the gym that day, that all of a sudden now your life's gonna be crap because you didn't follow through on that. Or if you tell somebody, hey, I'm gonna show up on this day, and then you can't show up because some life stuff happened, that all of a sudden now you broke the contract and now, you know, you're a horrible person. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying try your best to stick to whatever you're saying. So yeah, if you can't make it on to the gym on that day, okay, that's fine. But if you told yourself you were gonna go to the gym and make that a point in your life to do this thing, then follow through on it as much as you possibly can within the ways that you can, understanding that life stuff happens, but don't make excuses. Like, again, if you tell somebody you're going to do something, if something comes up, just be honest about it. Like, hey, yeah, I got this going on, but I'm gonna get to you. I'm gonna get to. I'm a person of my word. I'm gonna follow through on the situation at some point when I can, to the best of my ability. And by doing that, then it aligns you with what you said you were gonna do, because your words matter. Like, what you say and what you speak matters, and people don't really take that into account. Like, you have to be very careful with not only what you speak, but what you think also, because internally you can have a conversation with yourself and say some things that you want to do with yourself without even speaking it out loud, and your inner self hears that. So then your inner self is going to give you send you different messages and guides in order to get you to where you want to go. But if you don't line up with that energy, and then you'll never reach that goal. You'll never get to that destination, because you're being distracted by this here and this there instead of focusing on where you want to go. So within that, you got to make sure that you make the soul contract with yourself the most important contract that you ever have in your life. Doesn't matter if you do create a business, and endorsements want to come, and they want to give you a contract to push their product or push their idea, or they want to put some money behind you, and you have to sign a contract. Within that, the most important contract that you have is with yourself. So always make sure that you're being honest with yourself, and when you're talking to yourself, and when you do say something to yourself, and when you say something to other people, make sure you stick to that, because words matter. And oftentimes that's the only thing that you really have in this world is your word. Keeping your word is how you gain respect. And if you ain't got no respect, then you ain't got nothing in this world. If nobody respects you, then when you come around and you talk, people are just going to be like poo-pooing you, because they're like, yeah, whatever. You said that you were going to do that, but we ain't seeing it. We ain't seeing you. You said you was going to do that last week or whatever. We ain't seen you do nothing. So why should I believe you now? You know what I mean? It makes sense when you think about it. So again, for me, when I think about my own life situations, the minute that I lined up with everything that I said I was going to do, which is one of my biggest things. Like, if I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. It's just, and even if something comes up in between me getting it done, or if I don't get it done if I can't get it done on the day that I thought I was going to get it done, I'll make it a point to still let it be known that I'm still going to do it, because my word means a lot to me, because I'm highly respected where I go, and I want to remain in that light. Like, I'm not a person where if you talk to me and I say I'm going to do something, that you got to worry about me doing it. Like, if you talk to me and I say I'm going to do something, it's well known that I'm going to do it. So at the end of the day, again, it's all about that soul contract with yourself. And that's why I'm very much so make it a point to stick to that, because I understand, like, if I say something and I don't follow through with it, then I'm hurting myself more than I'm even hurting you, because I said it. So I have to follow through. It's like, once I say it, I'm one of those people that I just have to follow through with it. And to the best of my ability, I might not reach the mark the way that I may have envisioned it, but you're gonna know, and I'm gonna know that I gave it 100% of my ability. That I can promise. So you should be the same way in your life. If you do that, take the time to really think about stuff that you say before you say it, and don't overhype yourself up and then underdeliver, because then that's another way you can break it, because it's like, you got to know your limits too. Like, don't make promises you can't keep, I guess is what I'm saying. You got to know your limits. So at the end of the day, again, you got to make sure you stick to your word, because words are spells, and spells are real. Like magic is real. So if you say something, then follow through on it. And if you can't maybe do it to the best of that ability, just be honest about it and keep that, but still keep that same energy as far as I'm gonna do the best I can though.